Hello, this is Catalyst 360 at Northern Lights Publishing. Bring you a roundtableette, 10 or so minutes with a roundtable regular. Today's roundtableette is with fiction fantasy author Rick DeRobertis. Hello and welcome again to another 10-minute roundtableette. Today's guest is Rick DeRobertis, an attorney and science fiction and fantasy author living in Hawaii and currently on vacation in Hawaii. I think that's some kind of busman's holiday. But anyway, Rick is with us. Rick has been a member of the Roundtable since the second and third session. He's been a great contributor. We're very grateful for his input and thoughts and feedback on it. Rick, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, I can be very short or very long, so I'll try to be very short.
An attorney short, folks. Make note of this.
Okay, there we go. Born in Tucson, but I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area when it was all orchards for the most part. It was great living there. I, for some reason, always liked writing. It was almost like the first thing I wanted to do. I remember reading stuff in school and going, gee, it would be nice if I could write that and people were reading what I was writing. I just thought of that. Not that I had any writers in my family or anything like that. I began like in the third grade, I think, writing short stories, sort of like talking animal short stories, kind of like a cartoon as a short story. And I even worked on a novel when I was in the fifth grade. It was like some sort of African safari thing, like in the 1920s. Wrote actually 50 pages. And then I began getting an idea for a novel in the eighth grade. And I continued writing short stories. And then I realized I couldn't make a living writing. I didn't really know how to write a novel. And I wasn't super prolific. So I figured if I want to be able to eat and live, I have to have a profession. So I became a lawyer. And as a lawyer, lots of my work as a lawyer is writing, but it's legal writing. And then I moved to Hawaii when I was 28, and I've stayed here ever since. So that's the thumbnail sketch of my life, but there's a lot more detail to put in.
So basically you and David Baldacci are like this, because I believe he's an attorney, author as well.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm not going to take this. I want to turn it off though.
You can see how well planned and choreographed these sessions are, folks.
There you go.
Excellent, Rick. Very good. Out of curiosity, what do you hope other people get out of the roundtable? What do you think people should come to the roundtable for?
Well, all I can think of is what I'm getting out of it, or what I joined for. And what I joined for is what gave me the impetus was I have a niece who is a published novelist, published with HarperCollins, even written up in the New York Book Review. So she's been a lot more successful than me. But she said, well, Rick, Uncle Rick, you should meet other writers. You should interact with other writers. You'll like that. And then when I thought about it, when I was a kid, I did have a best friend in my neighborhood who also liked writing, liked reading, and we would, interact with each other that way. I would read my short story to him. He'd read his short stories to me. We would talk about the novels we read, Marvel comics, even. Although after Jack Kirby left Marvel, I lost my interest in Marvel. But we kept on talking about like the Valentine Adult Fantasy series in the 1970s. We grew away, and I haven't seen him in decades. And he stopped writing stories, although I think he still writes music, songs. But I kind of missed that. And then I thought, okay, well, how am I going to, find other people to talk to? And then a guy named Joseph invited me to join the roundtable, and I thought, well, that sounds like a great idea, and I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I could tell you what I like about it and not, but that's another question.
Let's go to that other question. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? What are your personal goals for the roundtable?
Well, let me answer the first one first. With my friend, and even with my brother, and my brother himself has written 5 novels. 3 were print-on-demand publications, and 2 were published by a small publisher in England. We would talk about our own creations and talk about what we're doing, trying to get published, and very be specific to ourselves. Roundtable, of course, we sort of shy away from self-promotion and talking about ourselves, but I do like getting feedback and interaction. We had one topic about rejections, and I mentioned how some of these slush readers at magazines make rather inane comments, like saying that I was doing head hopping, when my story absolutely had no head hopping in the slightest. I was very, very deliberate to be very strict third person limited point of view. And when I said they didn't know what they're talking about, some people chuckled knowingly. And so it's nice to know that I'm not the only person getting stuff like that. Um, uh, of course, with Roundtable, it's a little bit higher up, not about ourselves individually, but more about bigger ideas and broader topics, which I do enjoy, and having a sort of a different theme topic every month. I find quite interesting because it makes me think about things I really hadn't thought about. Like we had one about humor, and I really hadn't thought about how important humor really is to actually the human existence. Humor is really part of humanity. I never really had thought of it that way until we had that topic. So um, the roundtables are something I really intend to do for as long as we have them, and I really enjoy them.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you so much for this 10-minute roundtable. Anything to add before we bid adieu?
Not really, not really. Um, I Since you're sort of the person who thinks of the topics, you might or might not want to consider if we get more granular at some topic. If we only have 10 people on it, maybe we can be granular once in a while. If it gets 10 or 15 or 20, then that would not work, but something you might want to consider.
Well, feel free to let me know which topics you'd like to be granular on. That'd be great. I look
Okay.
forward to it. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Rick. And I'm going to shut off the recording now. Watch me. I can do this. I really can.